Hello, Year 12 and Year 13. And now that you're finally back together, we can say welcome back to both of you. We hope that for Year 13, you've enjoyed your first week back and are looking forward to your second. And for Year 12, that this return this week has been too daunting and you're looking forward to getting back into the classroom. So since you've been away and since you've returned, obviously, a couple of things remain the same from when you were last with us, and a couple of things have changed as well. So one important thing is obviously the wearing of face masks at all times. So now you need to wear a face covering at all times when you're on the school premises. So as soon as you cross over the school gate, you need to have it on your face. The only exceptions to this are when you're eating or drinking, or when you're involved with physical activity, such as up on the red grass, or if you're doing anything physical in PE or sport lessons. These are some of the ways not to wear a mask, though. So I've seen quite a few students last week wearing them below their nose, etc. Let's just all make sure that we're wearing a mask in a correct way to keep everybody safe. Also, then the one-way system still remains. Some of the arrows have been freshly painted as well, just to remind you. But you know the one-way system by now, so it's really important that we're all sticking to this to keep each other safe. And as role models for the school, it's important that the younger students see you doing this as well. And lastly, the same reminders about sanitizing your hands and your workspaces remain. There's lots of cleaning going on around the school to keep you and your teachers safe, but also it's important that you do your part. So remember that anytime you're entering a new space, such as the study room or a classroom, that makes sure you sanitize your hands and the desks and the spaces you're going to be working on as well. This just reduces the risk for everybody, not just for you. Okay, so now that we're going into our last week before Easter, we're seeing return of all of the school on some scale. So obviously last year we had Year 13 and Year 11 back. So just to kind of inform you what's going on this year, we'll also have Year 12 back as well as Year 10. And all four of these year groups will be back for the entire week and they'll be following the normal timetable, and also form time will resume. There will also be a staggered return of Year 7, 8, and 9 from Tuesday. So just for you to be aware of that, they'll be in one year group at a time. But then on Friday, the whole school will be back. So just to give you a heads up on, the school is obviously going to get busier as the week goes on. Just also a reminder, you've had this information out, but school uniform isn't compulsory before Easter. It will be afterwards. And the canteen will also not be open before Easter. So it's important that you're dressing appropriately when you come onto school site, but you don't need to wear the uniform, but also that you prepare for not having the canteen open by either arranging your own lunch, or obviously as sixth formers, you're allowed to go off the school site at lunchtime and get your own food. A point on non-school uniform as well. Last week there were some concerns raised by the senior leadership team about some of the appropriateness of some choices that people were going to wear. And we're not policing this too heavily because it is non-school uniform, but there are certain things that they've listed that they deem not appropriate and that they don't want you to be wearing. So please make sure that we're not wearing any of these things this week. Ripped jeans, see-through, cropped or vest tops, ripped jeans is on there twice, so they must really mean that one. Short skirts or shorts, and anything on the legs such as fishnet tights and or knee-high stockings, which we did see a few times last week. So please don't wear any of those. You can wear anything you want. And I've been enjoying how Year 13 last week were very much going for the comfy look in a lot of loungewear. I think that's the way to go. Okay, another thing we need to remind you about is the lateral flow tests that are now available to you. So this guidance on this slide is taken from the Welsh Government page, and it says on there that if you're going to a school, nursery or college premises, you should really be taking a rapid lateral flow test twice a week, which means kind of every 3 to 4 days, and also reporting the results of these rapid lateral flow tests when those tests are taken. They're not compulsory, we can't make you take them, but obviously it's in your best interest and in the school's best interest that you do take them. They're providing us with a lot of useful data, or the government with a lot of useful data, and they're also maybe spotting signs in asymptomatic people. So we'd encourage you strongly to kind of do your part in taking these tests. They're available by Mrs. Perks's desk, just in front of the desk. They're in big boxes underneath, and you can pick up a little pack. Please do, though, if you do pick them up, there's a little register for each year group on top. And can you please just sign out the fact that you've taken your lateral flow test so we know who's taken them and who hasn't. For year 13s, you might be coming to the end of your first pack of lateral flow tests this week because there's only a few in there. So please come and get some more when you need them. Again, just do the same. Come to Mrs. Perks's desk, take an extra pack. Only take one at a time though, to make sure that there's enough to go around, but just sign them out again. Okay. When you are taking these tests, obviously they give a kind of provisional positive or negative result. Now, if a pupil, and this goes for members of staff as well, because we've got the same test that we're taking, if you do get a positive, okay, or if you get coronavirus symptoms, then obviously you need to tell the school. Okay, and you need to make sure that you self-isolate immediately and that you go and get a proper test at a testing centre at the soonest possible time. Okay, so if we can just all do our part in taking these tests, we'll keep the community safe, keep each other safe, and hopefully get rid of this virus sooner rather than later. Now that you're back in school, please remember that the support that we were offering during remote learning is still available now, and obviously becomes even more so now that you're back in person as well. So remember that some people might be finding the transition back to school a little difficult, just as lots of people found the transition to remote learning difficult. So if you need any academic support, okay, anything subject-wise, then obviously make your teachers, your subject teachers, your first port of call, and then your heads of department if you need anything further. Also for wellbeing support, then your first port of call could be your form tutor, but also obviously you can speak to any member of the sixth form team, but most especially Mrs. Siciliano. If you need any administrative support, like maybe you're applying for things and you need evidence, maybe you need to see things of past results, etc., anything administrative, then just get in touch with Mrs. Perks and pop and see her in the study room and she should be able to help you out. Obviously, if students would like to continue with any mentoring program, or if they would like to start up mentoring, maybe there's something that's happened or there's something about coming back that's making your studying a bit trickier and you feel like you need a bit of extra support, then come and see a member of the sixth form team and we can speak to you about how mentoring works. And lastly, now that you're all in person together, then it's really important that you're all supporting each other as peers. So just look out for each other, check in with each other, make sure everybody's okay, and understand that, you know, as the end of the year approaches, then some people might be feeling some pressures. Some people might be feeling that it's difficult to adjust to coming back to school. So it's important we all do look out for each other. Okay, what's on? There's not a huge list for what's on because obviously we're approaching Easter now. So there's a couple of things that kind of scheduled for March, and then there's some just ongoing things that you can be doing. Dr. O has said that after Easter, as you are going to be completing learning tasks in that first summer term, that there's probably not going to be as much on in the way of webinars and so on, just so that you can focus on these learning tasks and not feel too divided by what you should be kind of attending and thinking about. But just for some ideas of what is up and coming, the University of South Wales on this Tuesday are putting on a talk and Q&A on applying for nursing or midwifery. So if you're interested in either of those sectors, then please go along to that. It'll be really interesting. Have a look at Dr. O's emails and all the info is on there. On the same day, but also then running until the 4th of May, there's a series of events being put on by Swansea Uni as well, a series of webinars all based on mathematics. So some of these things might really help if you're a current mathematics student with what you're currently studying, but also if you are thinking about studying mathematics after sixth form, then definitely go along to these events. On Thursday, the 25th of March at 5 p.m., we've got an in-house Royal Navy presentation that will be arranged on Teams. So if you're looking at alternatives to university or apprenticeships, then have a little look at what the Royal Navy have got to say on Thursday. And on Monday, the 29th of March, external to the school, there's an EY apprenticeships and your well-being session on. And this is going to feature Dr. Alex George, that you may know from Love Island, because he's taken up the mantle kind of mental health, and he's going to have a kind of feature talk on there as well. So please go along to that. As well as these specific events, then there's lots of UCAS discovery days that can be found on their website that Dr. O's emailed emailed out about. There's plenty of opportunities for further learning and further kind of personal effectiveness that you can develop on Unifrog opportunities. And there's also lots of virtual work experience opportunities popping up on speakers for schools, which you can register for independently, link up to the school, and then there's lots of things on there that you can apply for. So, and the final thing that I just want to say is that after Easter, Year 12 will be continuing with form time as normal. But for Year 13, this will actually be their last week of form time before Easter. So I'm sure Year 13, you want to join me in thanking your form tutors for everything that they have done this year in particular, and last year as well, in supporting you with all the kind of moan and groans, maybe in the morning or at lunchtime, that they've listened to you, for the laughs that you've shared, and for the advice that they've maybe given you. Your form tutors, play a very kind of unique role and have that daily contact with you. And I know that some of you have formed really close relationships. So please, after watching this assembly, extend your thanks to them. And we want to, as a sixth form team, say thank you to all of the Year 13 form tutors for doing such an amazing job, not only with UCAS, but just in providing that extra layer of personalised support to our students. So thank you to the form tutors. And Year 13, obviously know that your form tutors are just in their usual classroom. So even though you don't have that formalized form time every single day, I'm sure they wouldn't mind if you still pop to them if you ever need anything, as well as us. And that's it for this week. So enjoy the rest of your week before Easter. Have a lovely Easter holidays where hopefully you can take some time to switch off, and hopefully some other things will ease, and you can do some things that you want to enjoy as well. And then we'll see you then to hit the ground running after Easter. Take care, everybody, and have a lovely holiday.